Welcome everybody to the Diecastery, a place for diecast lovers of all kinds. So you might be asking yourself, why am I featuring a diecast model that came out like a million years ago in this, the inaugural episode of the Diecastery? Well, I received this car as a gift from my wife and my daughter many moons ago, and it means the world to me. In fact, it's my favorite model of all the diecast cars I own. Listen, I'm a huge fan of the original Batman TV show, and especially the Batmobile. I mean, when I was a kid, it was just the car to end all cars. In fact, I wrote an article for the Diecast magazine in the mid 2000s about collecting Batmobiles that featured this very model. And what was really cool was that in that article, I was able to have a photo of me and my father printed when I was 3 years old in 1966. And we're wearing matching Batman t-shirts. And it just made the article that much more special to me. It was just really cool to have Dad in there too. But it shows that I had a love of Batman and the Batmobile from a young age. So the first thing I want to mention is that this model is not the Elite version. So you don't have to mention that in the comments. It's not the Elite version. The only difference I can see between this version and the Elite version is that the Elite version is a flat black and it has a black bottom as well. I'm not sure if the bottom is die-cast, like metal. Someone will have to tell me that because I don't own the Elite version. I can't really tell. The version that I have, which I'm sure came from the purple box. I'm not a box guy. I didn't keep it. I'm sure that it came from the purple box. And as I said, it's a gloss black, and its bottom has chrome and gray piping. That's the difference that I can see. Now, if you can't afford the Elite version and you want a 1/18 scale version of the Batmobile for your shelf, then this model is a great alternative. And it comes in at around 100 Canadian. And that's a far cry from the Elite's 250 plus price tag. So you're getting a good car, a good model that you can display. Let's just go into a little history of the Batmobile. Now, in 1966, George Barris purchased a 1955 experimental Lincoln Futura for a mere $1. And in 2013, Mr. Barris sold that car for $4.2 million at a Barrett-Jackson Scottsdale auction. What was so special about the car? Well, it was the Batmobile. He had turned it into the Batmobile. Now, who's George Barris? George Barris is a car customizer. He's really well known for classic creations like Kit from Knight Rider, the Monkeys Mobile, the Munter's Coach, and the Black Beauty, another one of my favorites from the Green Hornet. And that's just to name a few of his creations. Now, as far as history is concerned, Mr. Barris spent around $15,000 customizing the Batmobile's look, as well as adding some pretty cool working gadgets like oil that's sprayed out of the rear of the car, ejector seats, flames from the exhaust. I mean, there were countless modifications that he put into it. And the cool thing was that they all worked. Every last one of that was real oil, real ejector seats, real flames. And that just makes the car more legendary, in my opinion. It's amazing. So the original Batmobile, as I said, was purchased for $4.2 million by a collector in Phoenix by the name of Rick Champagne. Believe me, it's his real name. And Mr. Champagne, in 2015, sold it to another collector for an undisclosed amount. And the car currently resides in the collection of a Mr. Dave Anderson in Virginia. If you really want to get into the facts about and the history of the Batmobile, I recommend a site called the Ultimate 1966 Batmobile Resource, and I'll put a link to it in the description. It really does go into every aspect of the Batmobile and the versions of the Batmobile, because I'm just talking about the original version. There were, I believe, 3 copies, excuse me. So, take a look at that site. You'll get a lot of insights into the Batmobile and how it came about and its history. Okay, so let's take a look at this great model. I love this model. So overall, it just looks like the Batmobile that I remember. It has that great red pinstriping, iconic bubble windows, front end that looks like the nose of a bat, rear bat chutes, a bat phone, and I like the cool bat logos on the doors and on the rims. There's a lot that I can talk about, and I want to break it down. So, as I said, the front end looks like a bat, and it has a metal mesh see-through grille, and it is metal. And at the outer edges of that grille, there are supposedly red lights. They're just little plastic inserts, and then inside of those are supposed to be two white lights, and they're little plastic inserts, and they don't light up. They don't work. Now, there are headlights above that grille that are both behind metal see-through grilles as well, but they don't work. Not like the 1/24th Jada version of the Batmobile, which has working lights. This does not. But I love the front of the car. I just think it looks mean, and it just looks cool. There's nothing cooler than the Batmobile. So just beyond the opening hood is this gold bat radar antenna. And if you pick up this model, or if you own this model, you know to be very careful when handling this piece of the model, because it is super delicate. It can break and bend, and when you're cleaning, just be really, really careful. That's all I can say. The sides of the car are really beefy. They have thick opening doors, and they have that great red pinstriping that I talked about before, all along the body. And those bat logos are prominent on the doors and on the rims. As I said before, I love those. And speaking of the tires and the rims, all the tires are rubber, and they have this visible tread on them. And the rims they're a chrome plastic, and they do have those bat logos on them. And the bat logos do not stay stationary when the wheels are spinning. The bat wheels or the bat logos spin with them, just so you know. So the front end wheels turn with the steering wheel, and I think that's a great feature. But one thing I would suggest is not to turn the steering wheel to turn the wheels. I would prefer that you push the wheels to whatever direction you want, and you can see the steering wheel turn. It just takes a little stress off of the mechanism that works the wheels, the front end wheels. And this model has no suspension. I don't know why models like this would need suspension, so I'm happy with it the way it is. Now, let's go to the back of the car. Just before the opening trunk, there is an opening trunk, by the way, there are three, what I remember being chrome rocket launchers of some kind. Now, I need you guys to comment in the section below, letting me know if I'm right. Because I remember, at least that's what my memory is, and it's a little foggy, I'm a little older. The show had rockets coming out of those three pipes that are just beyond the rear windows, just before the opening trunk. And I'm sure they're rocket launchers. Now, I know they have them in the Corgi 267 version, but that's not the one-to-one. That's not the real car. So I'm struggling to remember, and I'm sure I'm right, but you'll let me know, I'm sure. So then comes the opening trunk, and beyond the opening trunk is a small rubber antenna, and I think that antenna is intended for what is inside the trunk, which we'll go into in a sec. So the rear of the car to me is just as awesome as the front of the car. It has that incredible exhaust, like that huge exhaust, but there's no flames to be seen on this model, just to let you know. And one of the highlights for me on the model are the bat chutes on either side of the exhaust, and they're labeled bat chutes. Very cool. And as much as I love the rear of the car, the real standout on the car is the interior. There's just, I mean, come on. So the whole interior is protected by the front and rear bubble window. It's almost like a bubble window has been separated, half of it being in the front, half of it being at the back, and that protects the fantastic interior. So above the dashboard, sort of just underneath the windows on either side, one side has a compass, and the other side has a radar screen. And then the dash itself is a bright chrome. It's all plastic, and sunk into it is a speedometer and a radio. Now, the horseshoe steering wheel is black and chrome, and it has a clock in the middle. And the center console has the infamous bat phone, complete with that coiled cord. It just makes it look so real. And between the seats is the fire extinguisher. And the seats are really cool. Now, even though they're made of plastic, they're trimmed in a red paint. It gives it a real fabric feel. Now, the seatbelts are made of fabric, and the buckles are a plastic black bat logo. Say that 3 times fast. Behind the seats, near the headrests, are speakers in silver. Inside each of the opening doors, it's a basic interior. There's nothing really special there. Now, under the hood is a chrome plastic motor that looks like it would make the sound that the car made in the TV show. And it sounded like a rocket engine. And that's what this looks like. It looks like a rocket engine. And it matches that exhaust, right? And the sound. Now, to me, this was a little underwhelming. It could have been a little more detailed. They could have filled the space a little better. So I think it was a wasted opportunity there. And a little bit of wasted space too. Now, even more was the inside of the boot is the mobile crime computer, and that's essentially a flat piece of plastic with a red and white sticker on it. That's really nothing special at all. I'm not really overwhelmed by that at all. So the plastic base, as I said before, it has a mix of chrome piping and sort of gray wheel assemblies. I think it looks really cool. Now, despite this model's hiccups, and there are hiccups, I mentioned a few of them, I love this car. it's just amazing to me. I like the gloss black appearance. I think it stands out well when you're putting it on display. Um, you know, okay, I don't have one of 5,000 limited editions. But what I've got is a car that is a great representation of the car that I loved as a kid and continue to love to this day. And again, I think it's a great choice for someone who wants to add a 1/18th scale Batmobile to their collection, and they want to display one. This thing looks fantastic on display, and it won't break the bank. So I think it's a great purchase. You can get them in the aftermarket, and I would highly recommend picking one up. So that's it for this particular video, and please, I'd love to hear your thoughts on not only this Batmobile but other Batmobiles. Add pictures of Batmobiles, your favorite Batmobile. Comment on the video, the car, and don't forget to like and subscribe, please. I'd love it if you just smash that like and subscribe button. And thanks so much for watching, and I'll be back with another video soon. Thank you very much. Cheers.